Okay, looks like we're on the road. Let's do this. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did. Thank you very much for asking. Well, today we are going to try again in the context of last week where I got a brand new router to boost my upload speed on the internet. I am again tweaking a little bit my OBS Streamlabs to see if I can get a little better quality. So I boosted everything to a bit rate of 4,000 and I boosted up to a frame rate of 4,800 and also boosted up my processor to handle all this work. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and I'm hoping that everything is going to go all right. So I was going to say, like usual, we're going to go over to the computer and we're going to check out what we did last Friday and take it from there. But there is no point in doing that because last Friday, all I did was add a second coat of red paint to this painting. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to just add some shadowing, little darker, little lighter, and then we're going to have to call it quits again for the day because I can't do anything else until the paint dries. So let's not waste any time, and I am going to get this concoction ready. And okay, so I need a little bit of this red paint. And I'm going to do that right now. Little red paint. And I'm going to start off with the darker color. So I'm going to add black paint to this almost right away. And then we'll work it out together on my other camera. So I got the red paint. And now I'm going to get the black paint. And then we'll do this little mixture. We're going to be careful not to go too quickly because I want the shadowing to be very discreet on this background. I know it looks great on the camera when there's a major contrast between both colors, but in real life, when you're doing shadowing, you want it to be discreet so that eventually it will completely disappear when you are working on the foreground. So I am going to be careful to make sure that I find the right tint for that. Now, I'm just going to put, okay, I noticed last week that the black paint overwhelmed this red very quickly. So I won't need that much black. And again, I'm going to rinse off my spoon because taking care of our materials is, whoops, there we go. Just what I needed, a bunch of red paint all over my hands. Like that when I take the tramway back home, it looks like I murdered somebody. But whatever. So, the spoon is all clean. Very good. And let's get this paint together. Do I have some water over there? I do. Now, okay, I did wash my hair. And it's kind of flopping all over. It's very damp here in the studio. And it's kind of cold. So I'm going to put my little beret on. I could have put a baseball cap, my New York Yankees or my Arsenal baseball caps. But I'd rather have a wool hat to keep my head warm. Now I know the little beret looks a little stereotype of the artist. But there's nothing I can do about it except take it off and freeze, which I'm not about to do. So I am going to switch over then to camera number 1 and we will mix this in together before we start doing the background. So let me bring this camera down. There we go. There's my water. Here's my palette. And like usual, I'm going to first start to get the right texture of the red paint. Once I have that texture the way I like it, then I will bring in the black to get the right tint. And I'm already asking myself questions. For example, do I have enough paint here to do such a large painting. This painting is what? I think 57 inches by 40 inches, or 1.70 meters by 1.20 meters. So that's quite a large surface. And even though this is just very discrete shadowing, I don't want to run out of paint halfway through. I think this will do it. Okay, let's just keep doing that. Worst comes to worst, I'll make more paint. I don't like to do that because it's very hard to match colors afterwards. At least I have a hard time doing that. So, how is this doing here? Okay, I think I can add just more water, get this really liquidish, because I'm not going to be using the full brush of paint. I'm just going to get the very tip of this brush to do the shadowing. So, and I get rid of all this excess right here that I will not be using. Okay, it is Monday morning. I'm a little rusty like most Monday mornings. So I have to get my brain cells to start working, kicking in. And I'm hesitant about this paint. The quantity of the paint, especially. And I think instead of taking the chance of running out, I think I'm just going to add a little more paint right now. Might as well do that. It'll just take a few seconds. And there. I'd rather have a little bit too much than not enough. And there, a little spoonful of paint will make the medicine go down. There we go. Again, I always want to take care of my materials first so I don't forget to clean them. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Get the spoon nice and clean. And then we can go back to camera number 1 and continue our little concoction here. There we go. Come on down here, baby. There you go. There we go. Let's get some more water. So, okay, I see that my stream is having a few problems. I guess I was a little too stingy here, trying to get the best quality too quickly. But there's not much I can do now. The ball is rolling. So I'm just going to add now a little bit of this black. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let me just get all the paint here on the edges. Make sure everything is nice and nicely blended. Well, that looks pretty homogeneous. That looks pretty good. Now I think the next thing I have to do is just bring it over to the canvas and try out on a little area. I'm not even sure if I was on the camera right there, but anyways. Let's see what's going on here. Let's bring this up here. I'm going to try this right about here. And considering that it darkens when it dries, that doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad at all. So I'm going to just continue, keeping the fingers crossed. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to continue, but I'm going to put some music on. So this is music from my friend Diego on the violin, Jacek on the guitar, and Lucien on the drum. So let's listen to the music while I am painting away. So. And as the music started, I added just a little more black to my red paint to make it just a little bit darker. Bring my chair over. Okay, very good, very good. So I am going to come back over here. Actually, I'm going to take a break from the music for a few seconds. There we go. And now we are going to do the lighter shading. Just a little bit of the lighter shading. And for that, I'm going to grab another palette. Or maybe just put this one underneath. Why not? Like that. Get a little more of this red paint then. Red paint, which is on the orange side of things. There we go. And I do need to rinse off my brush. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring the camera over here. Camera number 1. I'm going to zoom in into my kitchen area. There we go. And I'm going to go back there and very quickly rinse off this paintbrush with some soap and water. There we go. This should just take a few seconds. There we go. I'll do a more thorough cleaning of this brush when I'm all done for the day. So, I'm just going to take a little bit of this darker red and mix it in with the lighter red. Oops. So I guess I'm still on that camera. Okay, let's get back to camera number 2 over here. And I'll move camera 1 back in its place. Zoom that back. And then again, we can kind of mix these colors together, or at least get the right consistency of the paint. There we go. Not very complicated. Just needs a bit of water and a little bit of elbow grease. And that should do it. Again, I'll try this on the canvas and make sure it's going to be the right tint. Get rid of that excess water. There we go. Got this just about done. Ça va? Bien, merci. Oui, tu me ramènes des cadeaux là? Ah, bah dis donc. Ah, ok. À tout à l'heure. Okay, so let's get back to our painting here. Let me just try this. So I'm going to try it right over here. Let me zoom in a little bit like that we can see together if this is going to work or not. I want it to be a little bit lighter. Not too much though. So what is that going to look like? Is that lighter? You know what? I think that's going to be just fine. So I'm just going to go ahead very quickly. Do this all around the canvas. I know that it will dry darker than it really is, which is fine. After all, this is just a shadowing of the background, just to give it a little bit of depth. Just like that. A little bit up here, a little bit up here. Let's bring this down to here. There we go. Like that. Of course, if we were during the summertime, I would have my fan on full blast. This would dry within a few minutes, and I would be able to tell if it's too dark or too light or whatever. Now I just kind of basically have to wait till tomorrow to see if this is going to work out or not. But I think it will. Looks pretty good so far. I'm going to go back up here. There we go. A little bit over here. Just a little bit here. Let's bring this down. I would assume that as it dries, it will just blend in beautifully. So it's hard to tell like this because, of course, the paint is wet, and with the sunlight from the window shining off it, you can't really judge. But I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and assuming everything is going to work out fine. I can see that the darker paint is going to be okay. So, very good. So. Okay, well, very good. I'm afraid to say that this is the end of our stream. Honestly, not much I can do now. I don't want to tackle this part right away. And tomorrow we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the centerpiece, but that's tomorrow's problem. So I guess I am going to conclude. No point of dragging on too long. I want to thank you once again for joining me for this very short stream, half an hour. And I see that many frames have been skipped over. So all this in wanting to improve the quality. In fact, maybe I was a little too greedy, and I will have to change and tweak things for tomorrow. So it's a good thing it is a short stream, because if it's unwatchable, well, it's a drag. So anyways, I'm just going to assume that it's okay enough for me to say goodbye, to thank you for joining me on the stream, and that I'll be here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to leave you like usual with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis.